Have to admire Nahi and Harriet's professionalism. They're heading for the puzzle box, like right now. No hesitation, no getting distracted by the shiny, dangerous stuff, just straight to business. Well, I suppose that isn't 100% accurate. If you believe the weird non sequiturs on the chat, Nahi had an entire relationship with someone, and Harriet was dancing in the pit while invisible for quite a bit. Regardless, they're on track now while we're down here spinning our wheels over these explosives. Reminds me of something my old corporate team lead used to say. The best employees aren't the ones who find new opportunities. They're the ones who actually finish the original job first. Poor guy. Last I heard, he got retired after he missed his benchmarks and then was caught setting up a side hustle selling secrets to Ares. Really should have taken his own advice on that one. Or maybe just shouldn't have told me about the side hustle. Speaking of side hustles, thanks to our good friends, the Red Hot Nukes, the Palace map shows a clear path to the 5th floor. Not the scenic route, but beggars can't be choosers when you're sneaking through a Troll King's converted post-apocalyptic shopping mall fortress. One small issue, a heart-sworn guard detail is starting to investigate the tunnels down here. Time for some strategic market disruption, as we used to say in corporate. Chuck, think we can get their attention?
Sure, why not? Let's add another thing to the pile. Not like I'm already trying to keep these bombs from going off, coordinate with my van, aka the getaway vehicle, monitor the nukes, and watch your 6. All at the same time, obviously. I tuned to the guard frequency and let out a perfect squawk of feedback. Give them the old weird feedback trick. Works every time. The guards move exactly where we want them. It's almost disappointing how predictable security behavior can be. Some things never change, whether it's corpo or gangers, I guess. Found the freight elevator, old school. The kind that's seen more honest work than the rest of this place combined. While Sal's playing radio games with Kelso, I patch into my van systems. Good girl. She's ready to move closer when we need her. While I'm at it, I patch into the nuke's emergency channel, just in case they decide to get trigger happy with those charges. The freight elevator's good to go, and we're on our way up in the world.
Well, well, what do we have here? It's the most gorgeous kimono I've ever seen in this or any other plane of existence. It would definitely be a shame to leave this here. Spirits do so appreciate proper attire during negotiations. Rufus gives me that look. The one that says I'm just making excuses, he's not wrong. The air spirit seems content enough, perched atop the football player's suitcase or whatever it is. Fascinating, really.
The nuclear football sits there, innocuous as a paperweight. If paperweights could level cities and were guarded by air spirits. My wildcat training kicks in hard. Unauthorized nuclear devices in the possession of rogue warlords need to be neutralized. Permanently. Not stolen, not sold, destroyed. But that's military thinking. I'm not military anymore, am I? The thought of this thing hitting the black market makes my skin crawl. Best case, some corporate government pays enough Nguyen to set us up for life. Worst case? Well, let's just say having every Merc, Corp team, and government hit squad on the continent hunting us would be the least of our problems. Taking it off the board is the smart play, the responsible play. Then why do I feel like I'm still acting like the good little soldier who got burned? I need more time to think this through. There is a lot of ammo here. Ammo and drugs. Lots and lots of drugs. Great, just great. That's... yeah. The cram calls to me. Clean military-grade stuff, not the street junk. Boxes of it. Just like... no. Just take what you need for the job. 1 dose. My hands are already grabbing more before I can stop them. Some habits die harder than others.
Reunited with our friends on the 5th floor, and what do I find? A treasury that would make a corporate raider weep with joy. Ladies, gentlemen, angry air elemental, shall we do some shopping? Chuck's keeping his distance from the spirit, can't blame him. Although that means I've got dibs on all this mid-20th century French jewelry that's lying around. Ooh, is that a Cartier Panther watch?
Is that... that better not be what I think it is. An air spirit? Perched on top of a... Oh, you have got to be kidding me. A nuclear football? Because apparently tonight wasn't already interesting enough. Listen, I've hauled some crazy dreck in my time. Prototype drones that tried to kill me. BioWare that was still moving. But a nuke with a magic guard dog? That's a new one. And that spirit... the way it's just hovering there. Like some kind of angry... cloud. Reminds me of that time in Calgary when... No, don't think about Calgary. Think about how we're going to get out of here without becoming either radioactive vapor or whatever spirits turn people into when they're pissed off.
Watching the spirit guard that case is like watching Rufus with his favorite toy mouse. All possessive energy and unnecessary drama. Though Rufus has never accidentally caused a nuclear winter, so perhaps that's not the best comparison. You know, I wonder what would happen if we just separated them. Rufus's ears perk up. The theories sound enough. Spirits can be terribly single-minded about their tasks. If you remove the object of their attention, well, sometimes they just sort of forget what they were so worked up about in the first place. Like that time I helped old Pete the Raven forget he was afraid of heights, though that might have just been the ayahuasca. Rufus gives me that look. The one that says, you're about to do something either brilliant or terrible. Only one way to find out, dear. The mana flows like silk through my fingers, or my fingers over that kimono, weaving into a barrier. Not too strong. We don't want to antagonize our ethereal friend. Just enough to... there. Like dropping a curtain between a certain cat spirit and a laser pointer. The spirit's reaction is immediate and fascinating. Its aura flickers with confusion, like it's trying to remember what it was supposed to be guarding. The connection between watcher and watched stretches thin, then snaps. I watch the spirit drift aimlessly upward, its purpose forgotten. Well, that worked rather better than expected. Though I do wish they'd teach spirits to say goodbye properly before they leave.
The lasso idea works better than it should. Perfect throw on my first attempt. Can't believe I've still got my chops when it comes to roping. Damn. That's Calgary again, ain't it? Anyway, the spirit barely twitches when Nahi rolls through the barrier, like it's forgetting what it was mad about in the first place. I ask Harriet if it's supposed to do that. She just smiles. Yeah, that's never reassuring.
The case opens easier than it should. Someone's been tinkering with the locks. Inside, targeting controls, coordinate displays, the real deal. Yeah, that's a nuclear football.
The radio chirps again.
When this is all over, we should meet up at old Chum's.
Yeah, not suspicious at all. The clock's ticking, I guess. And I'm not seeing a lot of decisive looks when I look at this team. Better fix that. Times like these, you have to think like a corporate acquisition specialist. Risk assessment, market analysis, projected returns. It's all about how you frame the opportunity. Now, sure, stealing a nuclear football puts a target on our backs, but we're already stealing from the king. We're already stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars of luxury items. We already have every Heartsworn in the zone gunning for us. Shit is already whack. The marginal increase in risk here is basically a rounding error compared to all that potential upside. The buyer pool practically builds itself. Every major corp, half the governments in the world, they're all pre-qualified customers with the resources to make this kind of deal happen quietly. One transaction, we're set for life. No more sleeping in nightclub bathrooms, no more discount noodles. Well, maybe sometimes. Sometimes I can have discount noodles, but only when it's my choice. Focus. Now, he's got that look, though. The one that says, she's counting ways to break my jaw. But when you've pitched enough terrible products to enough corporate boards, you learn to read a room and to take a few punches in the face on the way to closing a deal. Chuck's starting to get it. Harriet's talking to her cat, but she hasn't said no. Besides, if we don't take it, someone else will. Maybe someone who won't be as professionally courteous about its sale and usage. At least I've still got some corporate contacts who haven't tried to kill me yet. Well, one or two, probably. Time to close this deal.
Look at me. Still thinking like a wildcat. Still thinking like a soldier. Neutralize unauthorized nuclear devices. Maintain operational security. Follow protocol. The words are still there, drummed into my head by years of training. But you know what else is there? The memory of how quick they were to burn me when things went sideways, how fast protocol became plausible deniability. Maybe that's what's really eating at me. Not that stealing the football is wrong, but that doing the right thing means playing by their rules. Rules they break whenever it suits them. The cram's making everything sharp, clear, including the truth I've been dancing around. I'm not a soldier anymore. Haven't been since they hung me out to dry. I'm a Shadowrunner now, and maybe that's not such a bad thing. At least runners are honest about being dishonest. Yeah. It's like, I'd rather live truthfully in darkness than die a liar in the light. Or, wait. I'd rather live fast in the shadows than, Whoa, this cram is mucho fuerte. Anyway, Sal's got a point, even if he makes it sound like a pitch. Better us than some gang. Better a careful sail than letting it bounce around the streets like a game of hot potato with a mushroom cloud payload. I already know I'm going to hate myself for this later, but we can do this smart, professional. If this thing becomes a liability or some kind of fragging albatross, we brick it.
The spirit's losing interest. Its aura is fading like morning mist. Can't guard what it can't perceive anymore. Rufus looks smug. He always enjoys when spirits give up before he has to get involved. Oh, movement in the distance. Ms. Nahi hears it too. Or smells it, maybe? She seems to sniff the air like a dog at times like these. It's terribly adorable, though I only associate it with danger and death now. Definitely time to go. I just pick up the football player's case and walk to the windows.
Rappelling gear. Beautiful. Nothing like a dramatic exit to really sell the moment.
Down first. Check the angles. Secure the route. Just like training. The cram makes everything crystal clear. Maybe too clear. Almost faceplant. But no one has to know that, do they?
Being lowered down by professionals is certainly preferable to my usual method of descent, which mostly involves hoping gravity's in a good mood. No, Rufus. I can't just levitate us down there, and yes, I realize my sense of drama is underdeveloped. It's a trait that's generally in direct opposition to one's sense of self-preservation. So you do the math.
You know those moments in the trids where everything goes slow-mo? The hero's diving backward through a window, explosions behind him, one-liner ready to go? Always thought that was Drek. Turns out I was wrong. 2 grenades, perfect arc. Fall backwards out the window just as sweet as candy. Just like that time in Buenos Aires, except this time I've got an actual rappelling line instead of, experimental gecko grip gloves. Those did not work as advertised. The grenades cook off above me, one frag, one smoke, because old Chuck believes in variety. The whole world's fire and noise and adrenaline, and I actually pulled it off. Hot damn.
Chuck and I make our exit memorable. Nothing covers your tracks like a good explosion or several. Time to really sell it. Blow the charges, I bark into the nukes channel. Then I let Kelso know we're leaving, although I think he's already at the rendezvous.
Oh my. That's her, the Blue Witch. And she looks rather upset. The astral plane erupts in blue fire and furious magic. She's good, I'll give her that. But I've been slinging spells since before she was a twinkle in her mama's eye. She looks equal parts shocked and close to a stroke when I've finished with her, and she decides to back off. Oh dear. My physical form's starting to object rather strenuously to all this high-level casting. Is there somewhere I might lie down?
Blood from her nose, sweat beating despite the cold. The way her eyes are tracking something none of us can see. I know that look. Seen it on spotters calling in artillery while hell rains down around them. Harriet's fighting a war in a dimension we can't even touch, and she's doing it to keep us safe. I've got you, Harriet. Soldiers take care of their own, and maybe she's not military, but right now she's the closest thing we've got to air support.
I've seen enough Matrix combat to know what it looks like when someone's fighting in another plane of existence, but this, the way the air crackles around Harriet, how she's standing there taking hits we can't see. My girl's waiting, engine's hot. Whatever's happening up there in the Astral, Harriet's buying us time with her own blood. Least we can do is make it count.
In corporate warfare, the real battles always happen behind closed doors in boardrooms and dark offices where the public never sees. This feels like that. Harriet's fighting some invisible throwdown that's probably above all our pay grades combined. The way she's moving, though, even stumbling, there's power there. Like watching a CFO systematically dismantle a hostile takeover attempt, then arrange for the entire opposing board to have an unfortunate encounter with their own security systems during a late-night strategy session. Messy business, those corporate security accidents. Almost there, Harriet. Hey, just think of all the stories you can tell about this at your next wizard meetup, assuming wizards do meetups. Do wizards do meetups? We can discuss over drinks. Many, many drinks.
Everyone's in. Even Kelso and that Seattle City official guy, Gelson, looking like they can't believe their luck. Time to show what this van can really do. The nuke's channel crackles one last time.
Whoever you are, get fracked!
The ground lurches, the palace, it's actually coming down. Whoa, you don't see something like that on a regular Tuesday now, do you?
And somewhere up there, the Blue Witch's astral form crumples like tissue paper in a hurricane. Just the dangers of leaving your physical body somewhere tragically prone to getting demolished, I suppose.
Oh no. Tara.
Some loves aren't meant for anything more than what they're meant for. Some loves aren't meant for anything more. Some loves aren't meant for anything.
No!
Hey, you okay back there?
What? No. I mean, yes. What? Shut up.
As we tear through the streets toward the outer walls, I take a moment to leave our friends a little message. Nothing says, blame the red-hot nukes like some hastily sprayed graffiti in neon green, because sometimes the best corporate sabotage is the obvious kind. Then I use the plastique to blow a sweet round hole in the weird post-apocalyptic garbage wall, and we drive the van through while the hole is still burning and disappear into the shadows. Just fucking perfect.
4,000 new yen each. A nuclear football. More work. Maybe things are looking up. The cram's wearing off. Reality's getting less sharp around the edges. But some edges stay sharp no matter what.
Miss Nahi, dear?
Yes, Harriet?
Next time, let's stick to stealing things that don't make Rufus's whiskers glow in the dark. At least the kimono looks nice. Even if it does smell a bit like explosive residue now.
Crash zone's a burning mess, shrinking in the rear view. Systems are humming like a barbershop quartet on MDMA Ultra, and I can't help but think. Sometimes the best getaway is the one where you leave half the neighborhood reorganizing itself into a crater. Ha! But I guess it's like old Chuck says. If something didn't blow up, was it even a Shadowrun, Chummer?